I've bought a couple guitars that sounded objectively bad. I don't have them now. And generally, when you play guitar, you sound like yourself. In other words, most of it is in the fingers. Examples of guitars I've played that sounded bad were the Gibson L00 Studio, Walnut, and a Recording King Parlor. Today I'm going to share with you why I bought this Gibson Gospel 95, the rarity of it, the story behind it, and why this concludes my collection of guitars. I have 6 now. Each one falls into a different category, and I wanted to share with you why I bought this particular one, why it's different than all the other ones. I've got why it may be tied with the LG2 3/4 as far as the coolest guitars I own. This is as old as I am. Almost. I was born in 1993. And this is a 95. And the interesting thing about this is, well, all the stuff it comes with, but this has no cracks on it. It has no repairs done to it. And I thought I'd share with you the whole story of how I bought it, because it's a long story. But first, let's take a quick look at this. This is a script logo. And that's also the logo that appears on the outside of the case, which I'll show you. Like, this is the coolest Gibson case I've ever seen. Looks like something out of Dark Souls, as if you started out as the cleric. But I'll show you that. It says Fine Acoustic Guitars on it. But check out this headstock here. And I think I'm just going to start from the beginning and tell you the story about this guitar here. You want another look at the body of it. Those are the original bridge pins. Things original on this. So let me tell you a little about this. It all starts again with that store, Downtown Sounds. I live in Massachusetts. This is a store in Northampton, Massachusetts. I'll give it away because I'm not buying any more guitars, so whatever. It's a store where they have not just vintage guitars. There's stores that just sell vintage guitars. This store is a little different. It's called this Workers Own Co-op, but what they have is sort of a slightly generic selection, and then sprinkled in there is these little jewels and little gems here and there. Like, for example, they have a Martin 1993 D45, and all the guitars they pick are very nice specimens. They're all great examples of each one, basically. They're all nice looking. And they take amazing photos of all their guitars. So they represent them pretty well. It's not like a picture on somebody's bed. And this is the store that had the LG2 3/4 that I didn't buy, which led me to buy a different one from a place called Empire Guitars, right? And I've always been monitoring this site, their inventory on Reverb, since I bought a Martin 018 from them. And so I was casually looking at them, and a while back, maybe a month ago, I saw a but it wasn't this one here. It was a Gibson Gospel Dreadnought. It was a 1995 like this one. And at first I didn't think anything of it. Then one day I was sitting, they listed it fairly recently. And then one day I was sitting at the kitchen table and I said, what is this Gibson Gospel Dreadnought? I want to see what this is all about. And I began researching this model. And And I went on Reverb and looked at it. Well, first let me tell you what I found out when I researched it. Basically, this is a rare guitar in the sense of the reissue, which is this, is considered to be superior to the original version, which came out in the 1970s. Now, I've just recently learned about this model. If you know more about it, you can tell me. I've literally just started learning about this. But as soon as I did, I had to have it. Here's a good look at it. So let me tell you about it. So the original, which is not the reissue, which is this, had a different kind of binding that's notorious for rotting and falling apart and literally rotting off. This guitar has a, let me see if I can show you the binding on it. It has this I don't know what you call a multi-layer creamish binding, very nice. Because on the surface it looks like your standard blonde dreadnought, but there's a lot more to it. I mean, look at the headstock. The tuners on the back say Gibson Deluxe, and they've got this greenish hue to these tuning keys here. The script logo in the gold with this, I don't know if you'd call that an inlay design here on the headstock. Rosewood fretboard, but how it differs from the reissue, from the original version, and normally with guitars you would say, well, the original is always the more desired one, when actually this one is the more desired one, for the most part, from my understanding. The other version had maple back and sides, and I think it was laminate, and I believe this is all solid wood. I think there's some speculation. I know they're saying the back maybe not solid wood. And look at this. The back is arched on this guitar. This guitar has no bracing to it. If you look inside the sound hole, you can't really see it, but there's no bracing to it. There's just a Gibson sticker on there. And this guitar has some strange things going on with it. For example, when I got it, it came with this note inside the sound hole. And I didn't have time until today to loosen the strings and take the note out. And there was also a pick stuck in there. Yesterday I asked the guy who sold it to me on Reverb, who said he didn't play this at all. He's a second owner. He said he has 70 guitars and didn't play this. I said, before I had the chance to get the note out, I said, can you please tell me what is this piece of paper inside here? He said, hi, Jeffrey. That's my name, Jeffrey, in case you didn't know Jeff. But ever since I started working at Burger King, they started calling me Jeffrey. But anyway, call me Harmonica. But anyway, he said, I have no idea what that note is. I just played it for one time when it came in. And I haven't responded to him yet. But so today I got the pick out and I got this note out. And here's what it is. Somebody's cursive, and it says, let me try to read it. I am back in here again. Feelings all... It's hard to read it, these feelings again. I'm thinking all these thoughts again. Well, so I can't read this. Back in love again. Have all these old thoughts once more. Isn't that strange? This was inside the guitar, the sound hole. The guy knew nothing about this. Nothing about it. And it also included these things inside the case. This original stuff that came with the guitar. Here's the packing list and the pre-packing checklist. who it was inspected by. So this is all stuff you would get when you buy a new Gibson. The case is unbelievable. I'm going to show you that, but I want to tell you the story on this guitar, what it's all about. So anyway, the original version consisted of maple, back and sides, had that rotting issue, had a different appearance too. Generally, the reissue, which is this, is generally considered to be the sought-after one, or the superior version, which you don't often see in guitars. You usually think the reissue is inferior in some way. So this is very unique. As I said, this is a 1995. Now let me tell you about this description on Reverb. So after I began researching these guitars, right, I immediately went on Reverb to see what was available to buy, if there was any. So first I called the store Downtown Sounds, right? And I said to them, now I'm losing my voice now. Shoot. I called Downtown. Let me pick up. Actually, I can pick up the phone. I called Downtown Sounds, the store. I just went and got a sip of water. So I called Downtown Sounds and I said to them, I'm interested in one of your acoustic guitars. They said, okay, which one? I said, the Gibson Gospel Dreadnought. They said, I said, does it have any, they said, what do you want to know about it? I said to them, does it have any cracks in it? They said, let me check. And they put me on hold for a long time. And the guy said, oh yeah, we did find one crack. And then I asked him a couple of questions, like, is it going to affect the price? He kept putting me on hold, disappearing. And they said at the end, can you call back tomorrow when so-and-so is here, who you dealt with before? I called back the next day, and so-and-so, this guy Aaron, was unaware of the whole situation, and he said it'd be several weeks before it was fixed or there was anything, and they took the listing down off Reverb. And the thing is, there was one other option available on Reverb besides this Downtown Sounds guitar. It's this one I got here, and it was in somebody's cart. I bought it out of their cart, and I snatched it up. And I bought it before I heard back from this guy Downtown Sounds. I could have waited. This is literally the only one that you could have bought. There's one other one with a pickup on it that I certainly didn't want. And there's another one way out in, it's either UK, I think it's in the UK, which I didn't want. I want to buy within the United States, preferably the East Coast. So I bought it. I bought this one from this guy called Guitar Ranger on Reverb. And what was unusual is the next day when I was messaging him back and forth a little bit about it, I was, excuse me, see all that water I just drank. I was looking through the sold listings of this on Reverb, the ones I've sold, and I saw pretty much the exact same description that he put up was copy and pasted, except he wrote, I'm the second owner, and I messaged him, how do you explain having the same description? And he didn't really answer it directly, but he just said, well, I didn't, and it was at a lower price, and there it was considered excellent condition. With him it was considered very good. But he said, oh, I didn't want to lose money. But anyway, the rarity of these is going up. So I think, like a lot of Gibsons, the value, the price is going up. You know, the LG 2 3/4 guitars used to be cheaper because they're rare, and that's what makes my videos kind of interesting. Is my guitar collection has two very rare guitars in it that you can't just go on Sweetwater and buy this. Sweetwater may have, I think Sweetwater has a Gospel. It's nothing like this. They have like I think they have a 70s. But to find a 95 Gibson Gospel like this, you're not going to find it. And not to mention this, the description, even though it was used twice and copy pasted, is what sold me on this. The guy said it was very well looked after by the original owner. It has a little bit of wear and a couple dings like on the headstock. Does it have a headstock ding? Yeah. But overall, it's free from any cracks, large dings, or. And these guitars, by the way, what I read was some of them have dark back and sides, and some of them have light. And this looks like it's light, because the one from Downtown Sounds like dark. And I think even though they use darker lighting, the fretboard looked darker and the bridge looked darker on Downtown Sounds. And I kind of preferred that, but it didn't have the original pins. And I may or may not get a chance to play that, because then it would come down to either buying two of them, which would be insane, or trading in this one, which I like this one already. It doesn't smell, but that's kind of like a faint smell, like a dentist's office. Isn't that strange? That's the only way I could describe it. The Gibson LG 2 3/4 smells like an old library book, and it smells a little bit better. Whereas this one smells kind of like a dentist's office. But not bad, and I've had guitars that were very bad smelling that. Not that I bought. I've told this before, but when I was dealing with this skateboard guy, I gave him skateboards for guitars, and he gave me these pieces of crap. One was a Yamaha, one was a Epiphone, and they just stunk up the whole place. This is nothing like that. This is a quality Gibson, and it doesn't smell anyways. It doesn't smell brand new. I've got new guitars like the Martin 018 and the Gibson Alta below that. That smells new, then that's a different smell. This used guitars, you're taking a chance, in other words, with what you're bringing in your home, especially buying the sight unseen. But
this is the only one available, and it was in someone's cart. The only other one would be Downtown Sound, and they've taken it off reverb, and before they put it back up, they're going to call me. But I really don't plan on buying it now, because I like this one. This is my first day really actually playing it, and I played it for maybe a half hour before I started doing this. But this may be a part one because I'm running out of storage space. But I just want to say that this store and their unique inventory of having like kind of like a regular selection, like they'll have a lot of little classical guitars for 100, 200, 300 bucks. Martin Backpacker is a basic selection, but sprinkled within that, talking about acoustics, is these little jewels like the Martin D45, the Gibson LG 2 3/4, the Martin, this year the Gibson Gospel Acoustic. And I got an eye for these certain guitars, and I don't have any guitar like this. I have a piece of crap Fender Dreadnought from the skateboard. I don't have any big. This is a Dreadnought. This is a big guitar. This is not. There's nothing small about this. Nothing short about the scale length. Nothing small about the neck. Although the neck profile is not. I'd say the Martin Backpacker has a bigger, thicker neck, which of course is known for that. But this is more of a call it a C, kind of slim, skinny, slightly skinny neck. Mahogany back and sides, which I'm used to. I'm used to mahogany back and sides guitars. But the fact that the back is arched, which means it requires it to have no bracing, which means it requires no bracing, is interesting because this guitar has a lot of like lacquer checking and things on it, but it has no crack. So like, if you think your guitar has a crack, it probably is a crack. And with this, you can't feel any of it. With your finger crack, you can feel it, and that's a little takeaway for you. Yeah, it all comes down to this Downtown Sounds, and I'm gonna do more shorts on this, where you can hear. I'm gonna do shorts so you can hear it soon. I just want to make this video as an introduction because every once in a while I like to get a new piece of gear, something exciting to put up on the channel. And like the Backpacker will come back, but when the weather gets better. But every once in a while I just know when's the right time to get something new and exciting. Like the LG 2 3/4, and my collection is through. It's through. And I got the new Martin that we imagined. This was the right time. I'm gonna make shorts on this Gibson Gospel Guitars 1995 that you cannot find. And not only that, it's a rare low-key model. See the pickguard almost looks like a Taylor. I don't like Taylor, but it looks and sounds like a Gibson. But it has a slight Taylor aura because it was competing with Taylor, I believe, at that time. And this one is in excellent shape, man. And you know, what I wanted to say is it kind of evens out because the LG 2 3/4 from Downtown Sounds that I was originally going to buy, I believe it didn't have any cracks. I don't know, but I never asked, but I believe it didn't. And I bought one from Empire Guitars that had cracks, and I had them repaired. Whereas I was going to buy their Gibson Gospel that had a crack. But instead, I bought one from the Sky Guitar Ranger and it had no cracks. And this is an amazing condition. So it's like it kind of evened out by me not buying from Downtown Sounds, but their selection inspired my collection. I hope that makes sense. And I got a pretty amazing collection now. I'll tell you the whole thing real quick. I started in 2017, so that was on the Gibson SG Standard 2017 model Heritage Cherry guitar. Then I told you I got that crappy Studio Walnut. Got rid of that and upgraded to the original model LOO. So it wasn't the Gibson LOO Studio Walnut. I traded that in and got the original, which had a better sound with mahogany back and sides. The third one was the Martin 018. Then I got the Martin Backpacker. Then number 5 was the Gibson LG 2 3/4 guitar. And now this is the Gibson Gospel Dreadnought, which is unlike anything else I own. They're all different. Because like I said, different, I'll show you the back of the neck. Different categories. Think about it. Solid body electric, acoustic with built-in pickup system. Brand new Martin reimagined guitar. But small body, but still full-size guitar. 3/4 guitar with the reduced scaling. Gibson. Travel guitar. That's its own category. And now a big, low-key, rare Gibson Dreadnought. And you know what is strange? Along with that, this note here that I told you about, there was a pick stuck in here. And when I turned it upside down and shook out the pick, on my couch there was 2 or 3 dead ladybugs. So you never know what you're going to get when you buy new. More on this soon. I gotta go, guys.
Look at that case now. I'm going to show you the top of the case and what's so cool about this. And it's got this big mark on it and the wood. But overall the case is very sound. But check this out. Gibson, Montana. Fine acoustic guitars. Script logo on the case. And it's a very heavy package. But and actually the original version of this guitar, not the reissue, the original had heavier bracing, and I believe this has scalloped bracing like on the more expensive models. So I think for a value as far as guitars, this is a low-key version. I would, because I turn my nose up to those like the G one. I can't even remember the ones with the big dreadnoughts with the walnut back and sides. This is so unique, such a unique fine, and it completes my collection. No, I got nothing like this. Nothing at all like it. And under the right light, it does have that dark golden appearance. Alright, guys. That's it for now. But, that's all you get for now, because I'm going to make videos soon.